I'm Eric Hermanson. I'm making a game. I'm writing code for it. I'm drawing pictures for it. I'm going to use all the parts of my body to make it. And it's called The God Killer. It is a top-down puzzle-solving game, 3D. It's written in Unity. I'm going to show you a little demo of it in just a moment, current status. It got quite some distance into a feature called wall panels, which is a procedurally generated decoration. The idea is I make plain levels to start with, and then through computery magic, all sorts of interesting visual details are added right to the screen, right to the level, without me authoring them myself. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Now if you are catching this as a recording and you want to join me live, Monday through Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m.-ish Pacific Standard Time, that's when I do these live coding sessions. Each one I start off with a little bit of a demo, and then I get into kind of proper work. I tend to talk through the whole time, and I'm happy to respond to chats about even just tangentially related things. Man, that sounds kind of desperate. Like, just come on and chat about anything. Anything at all. Anything. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. I'm just telling you. Like, if you just want to hang out for a little bit while I'm working with me, you can do that. Okay, so Sundays, 3 p.m. on the Pacific Coast. There's another thing called God Killer Gamedev Sundays, and that's also game development, but it's not programming tasks. It's art tasks, level design, stuff that you don't have to be into coding. You can just usually get the gist of what I'm doing. All right. So where are we at? There's my code screen, but let me show a quick demo. So I think it's safe to say that beyond the basic structure here, everything shown is procedurally generated, the decorations. Well, I suppose there's a fine line between what I hand placed and what's a decoration. So, for example, I've made like these blocks like this. I made the stairs I laid out. Those are a prefab. They already had the little steps on them when I put them there. But I didn't put in things like the textures on the walls or floors. Those were generated from this thing called strata. It's a certain kind of scheme for automatically assigning textures based on based on the elevation point inside of the level. And then I didn't add like this stuff, this edging around the side, this pipe coming down that was added procedurally. These glowing panels over here that look like Tetris L's, those are procedural. They just kind of fit in where they can. They're placed randomly. And they even did like this thing I'm maybe a little dubious about is coming off into the stair area. But I decided it doesn't look bad, and I can take it out case by case manually. So like for example, if I think that looks dorky, I just go here and delete it, and it's gone. So it's very easy to start out with a procedural decoration pass and then come back and make manual edits to it. So I'll hit the play button so you can see what it looks like inside of the game, get an idea of what this game actually looks like if you've never seen it before. Let's see, do I think I have it on maximize? Yes, I do. Okay, gonna hit play. So you control a character. Like so many games, you control a character. Her name is M. It's loading up right now, and she's going to look really tiny on the screen, and you're going to wonder, why did I make her so tiny? Why did I make the camera so far away from her? The idea is I'm going to let the player see a lot of information. In a previous game I made called Drod, or Deadly Rooms of Death, I had the same criticism when I released the game. Oh, everything's so small, you can hardly see anything. I'm like, no, but that's not the point. There's a game there to play. It's not just about pretty artwork. It's about having a lot of information at your disposal, seeing clearly, and you can make decisions about what to do next based on that information. It's also part of why this is also gritty and blocky. I want it to be fairly clear what you're looking at and how you can move inside of it. Boy, this is a long startup on the play. Is it even going to start? It is. Okay. I don't know why that took that long. I think we might be a little CPU starved with the broadcasting. That is a typical thing. So directions available to you to move are just 4: north, south, west, east. There are 2 types of movement. There's M is this red character in the middle here. That's you. Okay. There is an extra actions available which is called flinging. I hold down the shift key, I push the direction I want to fling, and I instantly move the furthest I can in that direction without encountering an obstacle. Everything is split into turns, or steps as I call them. So I step and then everything waits. Like those enemies that are approaching me from the south, they're just waiting for me to hit step again. So if you play a game like Super Hot, for example, it's sort of like that, except it truly will wait forever. Super Hot will keep kind of slowly going, which I find irksome. I would kind of prefer to really just sit there and think about it as long as I want. So this thing off to the north of me with the glowing squares underneath it, that's an egg. That's your respawn point, basically. If you die, you're reborn there. If enemies die, they're also reborn there as well, or the closest one to them at least. Now you can kind of see far beneath me there is some floor space down there. I can jump down to it, or I should say I can just step south 1 square and I'll drop down. Okay, I dropped down and then I got pushed. I got pushed by an enemy down there. So I'll show you what pushing looks like again. Here I'll push the enemies. I'm going to push north. Now watch them. They all flew up to the north. So they all kind of did that flinging thing I just described. They all moved all the way north, and they didn't die. They just moved all the way north. I fling them again. They moved all the way north. I can kill them now. I'll get to the killing part. Here, the cadence is different now, whereas before I was set up to push them. Now they're set up to push me. It kind of depends on who moves into the step, the square between you first. That's not quite put right. Basically, I will move into this square, and then they'll push me. Whereas if this guy was right next to me already on this turn, and I moved north, I would be pushing him. So right now I am off push, is how I call it, meaning that when I step into the square, they're going to push me. So he just shoved me all the way south. So after a while, you kind of get the idea that there isn't that much point to killing anybody. You want to have some other goals besides that, because they just keep coming back. If I do manage to kill somebody, and I'll show that in a moment, they'll just respawn. So there's not a lot of point to killing things. You really want to have some other goals in the level besides that. There's a guy who's kind of trapped up there off to the east. I can walk around him without any fear. He's not smart enough to know that he can just hop down, or he doesn't have that capability or something like that. So there's some spikes here. If I touch those, I'll die. I died and I respawned instantly. Same is true if these guys that are up here, or any of the enemies, if they ever touch spikes, they will die. There's another way you can kill something. Let me see if I can do it. So if there's no place to push the character, let's see if I can just get them all up against. Nope. It's kind of hard to get set up that way. But if there's no place for the thing you're pushing to go, it will die. I'm trying to get into some close quarters so I can demonstrate that. Okay, here we go. So this guy, I'm going to push him west. I'm going to push him all the way against the wall. He will explode. There's no place for him to go. So it's a rule. You can always push things that are pushable, and if there's no space left, you die. Same for me. They can push me. If there's no space left for me to go, I get pushed into something, I die. Alright. So I'll show off the decorations a little more. You can see them off to the sides. A lot of the more intricate details that I add to them don't seem to pick up that well. So I've been making them pretty low poly and simple, which is better for my performance. But also it seems to be the right approach as far as showing information in the game. God, no hiccups, please. I was about ready to get some bad hiccups there. And then there's this other weird thing. Okay, so they have nowhere to go because when I push along the stairs, it goes at an angle. Okay, so other things you can do. So if I fling, I can go across space. And it sort of instantly resolved it. But if there was some place for me to go and land, then I would have. So you can use it to cross distances or cross over gaps as long as there's something to catch you on the other side that puts you in a place that you want to be. Off to the north, it's just a drop. There's nothing there. If I went over the side, I would die. So a lot of the trick here in achieving your goals in this game is just using the structures around you to move well. So like right here, I'm kind of screwed. All my options are bad. It's a tiny bit like chess. If your opponent simply moved instantly, no matter what you did. So if I move south, I'll die because this dude here will end up smashing me against the wall over here. If I move west, that dude here will push up against me, and I think that will kill me too. I can't fling to the west because it goes off into infinity. There's nothing to catch me. So I just tried flinging. I can't move north. It's up too high. I can only travel upwards one square at a time. So I'll go that way. I got killed. Alright, so that was kind of like a stalemate, if you will. I got killed. Shoved me off to infinity. So I gave myself a little goal, somewhat arbitrary. There's no level exit there to get up to. There's a little chamber up here. To get up into that chamber. It could be a level exit point if I wanted it to, but I haven't set one there. And that would give it a goal. But I gave it myself an arbitrary goal just for gameplay purposes to get there. Just to see, to get an idea of like how well I can make puzzles out of just moving with these guys. So they're all bunched up over there. I want to get away from them. Okay. So I can kind of like use the fling to get away from where they're clumped up around me. As long as there's a clear route to the catch point. I should say, as long as there's no I've been calling them mobiles. If there's no creature, there, because if there is, then I can't do a fling through a creature, or I can't fling up to a creature. Okay, so what if I drop here? Okay, so I dropped down, and then a guy pushed me off to the east, and I died. So let me try again. So this is somewhat challenging to get to that little chamber area. It's not a bad puzzle, and I didn't really set it up to be a puzzle. That's a thing that I like, which I call emergent puzzle behavior, where you can put some elements down without trying too hard to design a puzzle. Puzzle-like challenges are created. So if you think of like Minecraft, it's an excellent example of emergent puzzles. In fact, it's just a bunch of randomly generated numbers, and still it seems to create something that's fun to do. I think Sudoku might be like that too. So if I go south, they're going to get me. Oh, I don't want to go south anyways. I want to go up here. See, but they've kind of got this covered. So to get over there, I need to maybe draw them out. No. They pushed me out of where I wanted to be. Now there's just a glut of these guys over there, and I need to get them out of that area so I can get past. Okay, so here I think I can get past. Yeah, here's an example of like those wall panels going up into the square, the side of the staircase. And I kind of like it, actually. I was thinking I wanted to filter them out from stairs, but it kind of looks good to me. It's an interesting detail. Okay, so here I made it up to the chamber. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. The decorations, they still look a little bit... Oh, that's bad camera movement there. They still look a little bit garish in some places, but I'll leave that as more of a texture tuning type of an exercise. God, I almost feel like just making a level, but no, I'm going to do some coding. I'm going to do some coding. I can save the level stuff for later. Okay, I'm going to go to that chamber one more time, just to see if the solution is as easy or as hard as previous. Okay. Actually, I got a much easier solution that time. Alright. There's my friend over there, stuck on his little island. All you gotta do is step down here and you will be free, my friend. Okay, enough of that. Enough of that. If I keep going, it's just self-indulgent. Into the actual coding. So with these fill rules are what put these panels and other things into the level. With the fill rules, I've got some attributes defined for them. Wow, where did my editor go? Tell me all. Okay, good. I was afraid that the generated prefabs were going off into the main route, but they're all tucked under level decorations. Okay, where's the editor? Here it is. Drag that up to the top so I don't have to spend a lot of time finding it. So much slowness. Alright, so the fill rules. Finally, talking about fill rules again. Okay. So here's one for the floor edge. Here's one for the wall panel. And I've got some logic parameters underneath. I want to expand on them a little bit. There's the percentage chance that it will fill if there's a space for it. It's set to 100. Strata criteria, meaning of these little layered sections, what are which ones will it appear on? So there's a bunch of different options there. So, for example, I said these pipes here, these horizontal pipes, they will only appear on strata style A, on the thin sections of strata style A, which are these, has this little dark band here that I made intentionally kind of look like a pool marker. So I did that. And I want to add a few other kind of simple criteria that I can just use automatically. So let's do that. Okay, so now I'm just going to start a comment section, which is where I do a little bit of design before I start writing code. Basically a modulo check. Let me write that in a better English way. So call one horizontal. Let's see, horizontal alignment number. So if I've got, the way I write this in code is like, I'll say if X% 4 equals 0, then place it. It's okay. It's eligible for placement. Sometimes I want it to be 1 or 2 or 3. Okay. So what to call this? B. horizontal repeat spacing, horizontal spacing size, spacing count. You can tell words are important to me. Maybe too important. Okay. So that will be for X and Z. Okay. Then I want this to be global corner, left corner, right corner. So the gist of it is this will say how far apart at a minimum each placed element must be. If you think of, like, if you were making cornrows and you had a bunch of I work for a place that is heavily involved with agriculture. There is no trade secrets here. There's nothing even slightly. This is just an example that pops to mind. Let's say it was stripes on a flag. Say you were going to make stripes like you wanted stripes like the ones on a flag, not cornrows. You could say you want the minimum spacing on them to be 2. Okay, and then you could say this would be vertical 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so say you want vertical spacing size to be 2 and vertical spacing offset to be 0, then your stripes would be like that. Okay. Now, if I wanted to increase the space in between them, I could. I'd just set the spacing size up. If I wanted there to be, 2 empty rows in between, I just set it to 3. Now, if I want the stripes to be on odd instead of even, I change the spacing offset. And then it would suddenly be like it was shifted 1. Okay, and then the alignment is where I'm saying, let's call it origin. So if I say that the origin is world, that's a little bit better. That means that it's going to use like the world coordinates of where the decoration is being placed. If I say left corner, that means it'll do a scan to see where the first corner is, and it will start its counting for the purposes of spacing from that corner. And that will let me do things like, I want these wall panels to only be placed on corners. If I was going to do that, I would set the size to something really large, so it could never repeat. And then I would set this to left corner, and then I'd have a separate fill rule if I wanted to do right corner for a different panel. Okay. It occurs to me that one wall could have multiple corners to it at different heights, though. You know, I could make my life a lot simpler by not using this origin thing, because I'll be able to tweak the offset and do kind of a partial decoration on just the thing I want to decorate. That's the other thing, is I have this thing that's like a cursor. It's called an operation zone, and I can make I said cursor, but it's like the 3D equivalent of a cursor, I guess, where you can highlight like an area that you want the operation to apply to. So I can use that to just get one area how I want. And I can use the offset here to adjust it to line up. Yeah. Otherwise, it's getting too tricky, and that's a lot of code to write to find that edge. So I think just these, and that'll keep me busy for a little bit. I bet I can get them done in this session. I bet I can get that done in this session. I like goals I can complete in one session. So yeah, let's do that. In the logic session, we'll have these values. And if you're just joining me and you want to see a demo of the game, or want some explanation of what's going on, yeah, just let me know. I'm pretty friendly that way. Let's set some defaults on this. Let's say 1 and 0. No, I don't need that. This is a procedural generation used to make pretty decorations on the sides of walls. Okay. So do a little more design. I make these comments to pause and think of design. So I want some kind of function that just checks to see if the placement is correct. Let's see. So say it's going to be bool. Is does placement match spacing? I think I want it to be static. Big fan of static, just because you always know exactly what variables the function's dependent upon. Does the placement match spacing? The contract of the function is very clear if I do static. So I'll be passing in CRH, which is the coordinates of the top left of the thing to be placed. Top left, CRH, RH. Column row height. And then I'm not designing anymore, I'm just writing the function. So let's put that out of the comment and into function land. And here I'm just going to abbreviate a little bit because that really is going to wear me down to keep typing that again and again. I'm a verbose namer, but there are limits. There are limits. Okay, so if for horizontal, it's going to be both the x plane and the z plane. So if top left, I don't need to specify that. Just do top left, C percent spacing size. That should do it. Then I want to check. Yeah, I said I could finish this in the session. Now I'm jinxing myself, but I might fix it in. I might finish it in 5 minutes. It might be that fast. Check trivial criteria for filling CRH. Then it's horizontal spacing size, horizontal spacing offset, vertical. Trivial is such a snooty little word. It's trivial, and that's really, it's not that meaningful for me to call it trivial. So I'll say criteria non-directional. That's more meaningful. That'll help me more later. Okay. Right. This might be it. This might be what makes it go. So let's take a look. So I feel like I'm not going to see this real well with the prefabs I've got now. So I will delay the result of the experiment long enough to create a new prefab. I'll make one that's more designed to be shown down in this strata, which has kind of a different coloring to it. This one's probably the easiest to modify. Okay. All right, so make a little cube. Two. Point. Two. Point one. Jesus. Why I do not understand why it puts things in different places. I've not quite come up with good skills for working with lots of game objects in the scene editor. So I know I can group them into different folders. I know I can do that. But like the process of even doing that is very slow. So I go select a whole bunch of them and then drag them to whatever folder they need to go in. And that folder will open right up, fully expanded. And if there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things in there, then that's a pain. Okay, so all that was just to move these two objects so that they're so I can get this guy inside of the other. Alright, put the cube in there. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So then I'm going to make this guy visible so I can position relative to it. Try to put it right in the center. Can I put it in the center? I don't. Did I give it a size that doesn't let it be in the center? I don't think so. 0.2. So it should be even. Maybe I've got this off in the wall. Let me pull this over. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Go back to moving this little dude. Okay. Now, I may just do one slightly fancy thing to this. Because I don't know, it could look good. It won't take me long. Alright, there's a little bevel. And I wonder about okay. I really am off on a tangent here. Let me just finish this up real quick. It's not that big a deal. So let's set the material to, I want it to be bath tile floor B. okay. It did something pretty reasonable with the UVs there. Then around the edges, I'm probably overusing it at this point, but it's still looking nice to me to have like this light blue side light coming off the edge. When we get down this small, it is a little bit rough with the camera movements. Alright, let's just do those. Blue light half, and I'll come over and do the other side. Just one more. I do feel like I'm kind of overusing all that blue light, but whatever. Okay, then we'll hide that thing. Get rid of the cylinder. It's part of a different decoration. Okay, so this one should be ready to be used in decoration. I forgot one thing, but I will fix that. Let me delete that first. I'll just go into the prefab. Ignore the raycast. All the children, yes. Okay. Then we can test out that new code I wrote. I'll create another rule. This one is only going to be, don't do it that way. It's only going to be on this strata. Let's have it fill 100% of the time that it can, as long as the rules are met. And I think I'll start out seeing what it does just with that. All these little panels here, they all define the parameters of my procedural generation. That will be a long run, but what the heck, let's just do it. So the settings that I gave it to start with is kind of a control, were to just fill in every available space on this strata with those the new bumps that I just made, the strata B bump, that prefab that I just created. So what I think will happen, well, honestly, what I think will happen is there'll be some little trivial bug, there's that word again, for me to fix, because it rarely ever just works on the first time. But after I fix that, I think it will put little bumps all over these gray areas. I said gray, all over this light greenish gray band, and not just here, but any place else in the level where this band is shown, this strata. Because I said in my options underneath, the fill rule would apply to strata B thick. Okay, so it finished. Nope, not yet. There it is. Oh, it worked the first time. How about that? And it did exactly what I predicted, including some gross stuff. So this brings up another criteria I may want to add to this, which is whether or not it can be applied to stairs. Or I could just make a general rule and say, no, you can't put it on a stair. That's the thing I could do. The only stuff that was, well, I can definitely say if it's on the facing side of a stair, don't do it. Do I also want to say the sides? Maybe so. Maybe so. Alright, I know how to do that. So, but first, let me test the code that I just wrote. So this is a case where I said there's really no spacing at all. I said the spacing size is 1, which is the same thing as no spacing. So if I said horizontally 2, and I'll make it so it runs much faster by setting the operation zone. Alright, there's just too many game objects in here to deal with right now. I gotta tuck them all away. They are very cumbersome. So let me just throw them inside of, I already have a drawer to put them in. It's called level. Just stick them in there. Now watch what happens right after I drop them in. It expands it all the way. Like that level thing that has all that stuff expands. You have to find your way up to the top. And, okay. Then go get some more stuff. I'm picking the stuff purposefully that I know is just like part of the level decoration. I don't want to throw the cloud boxes in there. Okay. It'd be nice if there was a way to just do this automatically. See, now it's like I have that problem of having to select and drag those things all the way down. So really it makes more sense for me to only grab stuff above the level. Okay, let's move this here. I mean, this is cumbersome. If anybody's watching this and you actually have like a better way to do this kind of thing so that it happens much faster. Like, you know what would be cool is if you could set up some rules and it would automatically move certain types of objects into underneath a game object. You know, I could do that. I could do that with a level script or an editor script, I mean. But yeah, it's kind of, throw that down to level. Alright, come on. No, the whole thing where it just expands the whole shitload of stuff every time. Okay, stand up. Alright. Throw that down in the level, and that should be the last. bit of house cleaning with that for now. Okay, now what the hell was I even doing? I like totally forgot. Oh yeah, I was going to take the operation zone and shrink it down to just a smaller area to decorate so I could run the decorations faster. So here's the operation zone. Inside that box, everything will be decorated. Let me put it around something smaller. Like, I see what I could do. Let's just... I found that it's not scanning through the squares that takes much time. It's the actual placement, like instantiating the prefabs. I suppose I could profile that a little bit better. Let's see, is it really like those calls to instantiate that is doing it? And but that seems to be the case. Now, it would be great if I could optimize that, but I got so much stuff to do, and I don't know if it's like if my solution of just saying the operation isn't like the best effort reward ratio. Okay, let's try this. Apply. It's adding decorations. It's adding them. It's adding them. Alright, did I do that right? Okay, it did do huh, okay. My zone was kind of messed up. Oh, it's trippy. Okay. So that is set right. Let's run the editor again. So the initial scanning is so fast, where it goes and logically looks at everything in the level, that it's just not worth optimizing at all. Like all the parts where it said adding decorations, that wasn't the initial scanning where it makes a plan. That was placing the decorations or adding them to the scene. That part's the slow part. Let me take out the floor edge because it's adding descenders. It seems like my code didn't work. Okay. Oh, there's no change here. Forgot to actually change something, I guess. Okay, so when I set the spacing to 2, I got nothing. So something to debug. Let me check the other sides. Same deal? No. there's one. Oh, I know why. I know why. because I made the rule that it has to, for horizontal placement, it has to have be on the how do I say this? It's got to match the spacing or the modulo on both the x and z axis. And that other wall is not going to match on both. So that means it gets nothing. But thinking about it a little bit more, I think I should play the test directionally, so that if I'm on no, there's a better way. There's a better way. It's a much better way. So I can say top C plus top left R. So I just combine them together like that. I think I'll get the best of both worlds. Waiting for the Unity to compile. Waiting, still waiting. It's really annoying because, like, you come back. Wait a minute. What are you even doing? Yeah. It doesn't appear to be doing any work right when you come back. And it feels like there should be a button where you should press build, do some shit. I just changed the source, start immediately. Maybe it is actually doing something, but it's not visible. But it'll let you run and test your code before it actually picks up that file and starts doing its compilation. And you'll see the results with your old code. So it's got this really lengthy delay to detect that code has changed and do its own build. Now I could initiate a build from the IDE, but it'll still be necessary when I come back to Unity for Unity to realize that it needs to do its own build. So yeah. Now may I test out my change? May I do that? Nothing? Really? Ah. I thought for sure that would just be it right there. Why? Why would it be? What did I do? Maybe I need to. I bet it's an order of operation thing. Okay. One line of code changed. Let's watch how long it takes to be able to run this. Now I'll prove my point here. I'll try running it again immediately. See, you think maybe you're running the new code. You're not. I just ran the old code. Now it's finally building. And I just want there to be, well, ideally it would just notice a change in the file system and just launch that build real fast. But if you can't do that for some reason, if there's there could be some reason why that's hard. Maybe the OS support is not telling you that event very fast. If that's the case, then give me a build button. Let me initiate the build, because you're not doing it fast, and I have to keep on waiting. Unity, I have to keep on waiting for you. I don't like that. Now I don't even know what it's doing. The fuck, man? This will be my mistake. This will probably be my mistake. I don't know. This feels like something kind of wonky. Let's stop this. Restart. Oh, I think I know what this is. That's annoying. I don't know. I'm gonna save the scene. Save the project. I think I managed to put Unity into a strange state. Just open a different scene just to kind of I want to come back to this scene immediately, but I'm just going to open something else so I can do a reload of the current scene. Is there just a reload scene? Maybe not. Okay. taking care of one small piece of business while I'm still here, or while I'm in this other level. Um, Alright, so that. Just update my prefab because it seemed to be missing some changes I had inside of this scene. So got that, save the project, and then I'll go back to the project or the scene I was just in. Okay. All right. Okay, now that I've reloaded you, are you still going to complain about that weird error? Let's see. No. Okay. So it decorated it as expected. And I think I can adjust this. I'll change the spacing offset to be 1 instead. And it should basically invert the stripes. Do odds instead of evens. Yep, that's what it did. Now, I'll test the verticals. I'll say, put 2 instead of 1 there. Yep, it's working like a champ. And the offset, I know it'll work, but just to be thorough. Okay. And let me try one more spacing. Yeah, looks pretty good to me. Okay, so what do I actually want it to do? If I'm going to apply it to the whole level, say. I mean, it's all kind of arbitrary, but let me see if I can pick one thing that would kind of look nice. I'll do I think I'll make it always be vertical lines. Every fourth one. Yeah, let's try that. Okay. So now I can apply it to the whole level. And I can do that. Removing this operation zone. It's a lot easier if I turn this on so I can see it a little better. Yeah, I thought it might be that. Okay. I was just thinking, this kind of problem makes the case for having tools that work in virtual reality or a holographic display, because a lot of the issues that I have in placing in 3 dimensions are just depth perception. Okay. So that should work. Let me re-enable floor edge and decorate. Oh, I forgot about the stairs rule. I want to add that. Well, while it's doing that, which might take a little bit of time, I can find this one function here, which I can refactor. So that it can be used in other places. It's called might be stairs. So let's go here. No, fill rule. Cool. Oh, okay. Okay, decoration's finally done. Let's see what it did. I see a place where it is off by 1. So I am suspecting that is that's the placement of this, the offset of the prefab. I'm guessing that's it. But let me double check by bringing a marker into this. This is just a troubleshooting object I made because I was getting tired of figuring out exactly where points were. So when I look at this, I can see that 34, 14, negative 35 should be the location of this object. 34, 14, negative 35. Oh, except it did some adjustment for the placement. Alright. I take out the marker. See some other weird stuff. Well, this pipe seems like it's got some other criteria applied to it now. I mean, it kind of looks cool. I wouldn't mind preserving this effect. But why did it stop doing like the constant thing all around? I'm curious what this all looks like playing through it, so I'm just going to take a quick demo of it. There's a bunch of things here to look at. One is those changes to the stairs that I want to add so that the decorations don't go on stairs. Another one is that alternating pattern there. How did that get introduced? And then this off by 1 mistake here. Why is that present? But I'm also interested kind of in artistic troubleshooting, just to play around with this a little bit and get an idea of what looks good visually. And I can do that pretty easily. Just by walking around inside the level. So the off by one's interesting because here's another place where it could have had an off by one, but did not. So like it didn't extend up an extra space here. Now, oh, I know why it didn't here, because no, I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. It might be that the mesh that I've got in that area doesn't allow for the strata to start where it wants to start. I may not be getting the strata alignment here that I'm expecting. So if I look here and I see in the editor, if I look here and I see that there's a mesh line, well, there will be a mesh line here, but maybe that mesh line, that edge, was supposed to be up one more so that the strata decoration would be able to have this texture extend all the way up, because the strata texture selection can't put textures exactly aligned unless it has meshes that support it as well. Okay. So there, yeah, here there's no issue. Visually, I like it. Alright, let's start making improvements. Okay, first thing is let me check. Yeah, okay, so at some point I set spacing to be 2 on this rule here, and that caused the thin guys to have spacing in between them, working as expected by design behavior. So if I want them back, I just put that back to 1, and that'll do it. Okay, now I'm just eyeballing this. And it does seem to me like these two strata are not aligned, so it's probably just the mesh border here is not correct. So if I do this weird thing where I pull it up, there. So if I just pull it one up, yeah, that's the deal. Okay. But, you know, this is just a test level, so that's not a problem that I need to correct. That is just that's just that's a behavior that makes sense to me. If I was making a level that was a for real level, I'd just fix the mesh. So that is all working as expected. I'm kind of intrigued by this non-continuous spacing here, although I feel like if I were to do that, maybe I should have some different pipes. I don't know. I'll leave that spacing back how it was, because it was kind of neat. Alright, stairs. I made a bunch of changes. Now I'll just save them. Come back to Unity. Wait for it to wake up. I mean, I can test this a little more quickly by zeroing in on just one square, and I've got like a feature to do that besides operation zone. -16, 14, -37. 16, 14, -37. 16, 14, -37. So if this works correctly, it should remove that little bit of decoration there. Oh, I think it just removed everything, which is fine. But it also did not add that little doodad back, so probably that worked. Let's just build the whole thing, or decorate the whole thing. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have another one of those errors? Jesus. Okay. Well, it would have been nice if you would have told me about that within the build. Stop. Now it's not even letting me build. My tools suck, man. I'm going to exit Visual Studio Community. I mean, I would rather be using this than 1990s Flash action script IDE. I'd rather be using that, this instead of that. I had a worse time with that. But I mean, look, all I did is, Jesus, man. Now I'm gonna have to force quit the IDE. Unity seems okay. It just complained about basically a build error. That's all good. But the IDE is toast. I'm going to have to restart it after a force quit. Okay, you gone? Yes, you are. Let us try again. Let us try again. So not only do I have to contend with my errors, all the mistakes that I make during development, I also have to contend with all the mistakes that Unity developers and Visual Studio developers made. It's not fair because they don't have to deal with my mistakes at all. I only have to deal with their mistakes. Okay, clean it all. I don't trust any of it. Build it all. Okay, that's fine. Okay, what are you expecting? Okay, you wanted it broken out. No problem. I can do that for you. Okay. Now I'm waiting for the Unity build. There it comes. Didn't have to wait too long. Okay. So this, I should be able to... Okay. Are you done? I think you're done. Okay. I'll do the short one to see if there's a syntax error, or not a syntax error, but some kind of crashing. Yeah, there's a crash. Yeah, this is this thing where it loses all of the instances, and I found to get past that, I open a different scene and come back to this one. So long ago. This is the type of thing I was fighting against with all these wall panels. When you look at these walls, the texture just, it's monotonous. There's some kind of term for it, like repetition boredom or something like that. So let's go back to the actual scene I want to be in. Much prettier. Okay. There's some shit I'm not understanding. Like, the logic that I've implemented, that's the easy part. It's all this, you can't do this in the editor stuff. Alright, let me take out the cloud boxes. That might have something to do with it. Oh, I know why it stopped really fast, because I had just a test score set, so if I just take that off, it'll do the whole friggin' level. Yeah, there we go. Alright, back to normal. Still, maybe I should work on this in a weekend session, getting rid of all these warnings and getting Unity happy with what I'm doing in the editor. So it doesn't like me to call certain things inside of onValidate. It won't stop me from doing it, but it says don't do that. But the thing still works, what I'm asking to do. And they say send message cannot be called. I'm not explicitly calling send message. There's something inside of instantiate prefab that is calling send message, and that causes this warning. So the question is, how am I supposed to initiate an action like this from the editor environment without Unity not being okay with it? This might even be a benign message, but enough strange things happen while I'm messing around with these decorations that it makes me think they might be part of the same issue, right? Okay, so let me take a look. Okay, so it did not avoid putting the decorations on the stairs. So that's worth checking out. I lost my thin decorations. So my thin decorations, the little pipe that was supposed to be there, is nothing there. That might be what I do this weekend. Just dig into these editor warnings. But you know what? Let me see if I can just fix this stair logic thing. So what was that? Probably there was an error that happened inside of here. That's another thing, is one of the workarounds for being able to destroy things inside of the onValidate code is using this call delay function thing. And whenever I do that as a workaround, I don't have the call stack anymore, because it's going to call not from the original point of execution. So I want to figure out a way where I don't have to use these call delay functions, where I just call all this editor code that I want to do things inside of the scene and make changes to it, delete things, all that in a proper place where it's supposed to be called. That's all I want to figure out. I'm pretty sure that I'm not supposed to do it in onValidate, although that's a useful event to trap. I'm supposed to do it from some other place. So I think I'll save that for this weekend. But yeah, I want to, in this session, get the last remaining logical problems with this guy taken care of. I think I know why that thin thing didn't go there. I think that's because I had that exception in the middle of the other code. Okay, so let me bring my marker in so I can get the position here. So that is 16, 14, negative 37. 16, 14, negative 37. So when I put in these coordinates here, it allows me to test the decoration on just that one square. I gotta start the debugger. Okay, I think it's running now. I think I can debug. Let's try it. Yep, works. maybe this isn't the square that it actually adds that decoration in. Oh, I forgot. Well, is it a CRH or is it a vector? Let me check. No, I'm doing a conversion from vector to CRH, so that part's fine. So you decided there was nothing to do on this square. Oh, I forgot. There's multiple fill rules to go through. Okay, now we're on the wall panel fill rule. Okay. Has to be. There's like 3 of them. So I'm saying for each direction that I might apply a wall, that if there's stairs in that direction, I'm not going to do it. So okay, there was stairs in one direction. Which direction? North. So it's saying in north, we got stairs. Don't decorate. And we're going to check south. South, I think it's fine. Except that it's not in a wall. It's just empty space in that direction. So we'll continue. No? No? Maybe I got my directions reversed. South. Might be off by 1 error with Y. So it's going to fit the panel. West and east should fail for not being walls. Yep. Okay. Thinking about that. kind of weird though. Like, even though it said that it was going to place something, it didn't place it. Okay, north is the direction everybody's pointing. Yes. Okay, so south was the direction of detecting a wall. I'm going to step through it one more time. This time I know better than to wait up there. I'll wait down here. Okay, so this should be north direction. Oh, no, it's the south. Okay. It is in a wall. Is it stairs? Okay. So let me think about this. I think my positioning of where I'm looking might be wrong, but let me think about it. Yeah, I'm looking too low. It's like I'm underneath the stair when I'm looking. So I need to raise it up, I think one height. The place where I look at. Alright. And then come back to Unity. It's weird that you didn't actually create anything, but one problem at a time. Okay. Once I get this working, that'll be the end of the session. It'll be a victory point. Oh, that was the old version of it. I gotta wait for the Unity build. There's the Unity build. The strange thing is I took out the code that would instance the clouds, and it's still executing, even though there's like nothing. I took out the 2 cloud boxes. I took them out. It's not good. Yeah, this is the problem where it gets confused about what exists and what doesn't. So, what about if I just play and then exit? Would that get it to reset itself? Because otherwise I have to load a different scene and come back. well, I don't know if I don't know if it worked or not. Let me try again. Okay. So this is which one? North. North we'll skip past. South. Will you skip past? Yes. Stairs detected. Okay. So then pull out this. Also, I found a way to get past that Unity not knowing what's real and what's not problem. I just hit play and hit stop, and then it reloads the objects in the editor, I guess, which was what I was having trouble finding. Okay, let me save it. No, let me not save it. Let's just decorate. Okay, so now I'm adding the decorations. Decorating everything, the whole level. I'm using all the tricks for decorating. I'm doing the edges of floors, I'm doing the descenders that come down from the edges, I'm doing the wall panels, I'm doing the strata. It's all there. Yeah, I'm going to do some research on the proper way to create, actually there's a number of operations that all have the same issue. Proper way to instance prefabs from the editor, to delete them, to create meshes. All those three things from the editor. All of them have been throwing up little messages about send message cannot be called during awake, check consistency or on validate. And on validate is what's being used to launch all of this decoration stuff. Okay, so here is my stairs with nothing on them, as I wanted. I also managed to get these guys to stop coming up on the stairs, which I was on the fence about. I still actually kind of like them on the stairs, but I can like manually place crap on the stairs too if I want. Not on the stairs, but on the sides. They look kind of neat. Let's see if I can. I might as well just play it and do my visual inspection the fun way by walking around the level to see what's there. And then I think that'll be the end of it, because as long as everything's working. If it's not working, then I might go a little bit longer. Those are looking good. It looks like I got my wish, and even though I didn't think I would, one of those wall panels is actually showing on the side of the stairs. Not sure what I think about that. I'm also thinking, even though I have two floor textures, it's only showing one. So there should be like a whole different texture that is shown for one set of floors. But that's like, it has nothing to do with the first problem, which I appear to have fixed. Stairs. I'm just looking at all the decorations and kind of thinking about what I might want to change and stuff like that. Looks like one of the thin edge prefabs is either not specified or is not instancing. So I get a little gap every once in a while in the pipe. It doesn't look bad. It does not look bad. I don't mind it, but other than just, it's not what was specified earlier, so something's failing. The pattern on the wall over there looks kind of cool to me. I mean, just looking at it as a whole. Yeah. So that seems pretty neat. Okay, well, it's a good time to shut it down. That's been a stream, and thanks for watching if you did. And if you didn't watch it, well, no point in talking to you, because you're not going to hear this. Alright, so stopping the stream, and stopping it right now.